everyone. You're About Town with Stephanie. I'm Stephanie, and today we are talking to Michelle Earle. Hi, I'm really excited to talk to you right now. I've been looking forward to this all day.
Oh, well, I don't know about that.
Believe me, I'm excited.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to come and talk to me and to all of us.
Yeah,
So
thank you for having me.
Yes. So Michelle, I met you shortly after we moved to Tennessee, Cliff and I. You were the executive director for the Franklin County Chamber.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I so enjoyed taking leadership class from you.
Yes.
And listening to you and your enthusiasm. I think everyone that knows you would have to agree that you have some fire in you, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
All right.
Yes.
So About Town with Stephanie was started as an opportunity for people to kind of just get an overview of what's happening in Franklin County. A little bit. Just, you know, that little plug of shopping and eating and playing and things. But sometimes we want to go a little bit deeper than that.
Yes.
I put out last week something about leadership. And who inspires you and who motivates you.
Right.
And your name was coming up.
My goodness.
People had emailed me and sent some messages. You need to speak to Michelle.
Oh, thank you.
Here we are speaking
Here
to
we
Michelle,
are.
right? See
Here
how
we
that
are.
works? So I would like to just know off the bat, how does that feel to know that somebody says, you inspire me, I look at you as a leader,
Wow.
and what does leadership mean to you?
Wow.
We're just going to go for it.
Wow. Let's just dive in. So, humbled. I never really, I don't think you ever grow up or think one day that you're going to be a leader or necessarily that you're going to inspire someone. But I can tell you, the older I get, we won't talk about how old I am, but the older that I get, the more that I cherish those opportunities and love the opportunity to be able to inspire, to change, to plant a seed, to water a seed. Sometimes the seed is there, but you just need someone to water it and just say, yes, that seed is a good seed. Go after that, do that. And I was very fortunate growing up to sometimes good, sometimes bad. I was surrounded by sometimes situations that taught me of how I didn't want to be, as much as I was around people in situations that taught me how I wanted to be. And so I look back at the people that inspired me and led me through and navigated me through making some decisions that altered and changed my life. And I was very fortunate at a very young age, one of the very first jobs I ever had, serious jobs, a big girl job.
Yes.
That kind of job, was a Tony Robbins base management company. And I love Tony Robbins to this day, and I love everything that I learned there. And I had some really great mentors. And, I started out working in the office, and I did logistics for seminars. And so the logistics person kind of sits in the background, and they do a lot of things, but they don't say a lot. And so I was asked, would you ever want to do this one day? And I was like, I don't think so. Public speaking's not my thing, and I don't think so. And so I had a very clever boss and mentor, two of them at the time, that said, that's okay, you don't have to. But I'm going to go take a phone call. And while I do that, I might be late coming in, so if you'll just start the next video.
Smart, right?
Smart. And so I was like, okay, I could probably just start it. And so you kind of stand up, so we're ready to start, and you start the video. And then it kind of led to something else, and then it led, and so they just stepped me into it. And I can remember sitting in a meeting very distinctly one day, and someone saying, well, you could probably, coach someone. You could coach an office. And I was like, I've never even been in college. How do you coach someone that has a business of their own? I've never ran a business. I've never been to college. I haven't done all these things. What qualifies me to do this? And they said, your knowledge. of what you're talking about. And you know something they don't know. And the confidence they had, they watered my seed. They watered my seed. And the confidence that they gave me to go do that, because they believed in me.
Sometimes that's what it takes.
That's what it takes. I believe that I could do it. And that changes and grows. And you ask, what do I think makes a good leader? Because you learn, and you skin your knuckles, and you scrape your knees, and as you go about life, and you watch, again, you're surrounded by people that show you who you don't want to be, and you're surrounded by people that you say, yes, that's who I want to be. And I want to pull some of that out, and I want to mirror that, I want to match that, and I want to take that piece out. And for me, a good leader, so a leader, what makes a leader is someone that can make a decision and inspire others to follow.
I think you do that. I think you do.
Thank you. But you also have to also take into account that a good leader is someone that listens, can make a decision, inspire others to follow. And if it goes bad, they own it.
Yes.
If it goes great,
Yeah.
it was someone else's idea.
Yes.
And that's really what a good leader is.
I love that answer. Thank you. This is
You're
why
welcome.
we're talking to Michelle Earle. So you were able to give us, I guess, a snapshot of you, a little bit of upbringing, and but tell us, what would you want people to know about you? Just you as the woman you are.
So, oh gosh, what do I want people to know? What I would want them to know is I didn't come from a place where a title of VP, a manager, an executive director was ever really an expectation.
Okay.
It wasn't. I didn't grow up in that neighborhood, in that environment. I grew up with a really good work ethic. I grew up with keep your head down, do your job, do it the best you possibly can, work as hard as you can, and then maybe you'll advance, maybe you'll be recognized, maybe you'll whatever.
Okay.
But be challenged with where you're at. And for me, what I really would like for people to know is, and anyone else out there that is wondering and curious of how, what, and when, and what's my seed, what is my seed? I learn every single day.
Yes.
I make mistakes every single day. But I know that I love people.
Okay.
I know that I love to find out how things work. I know that I love the big picture. Love a big picture. I love where I live. I love Franklin County. I love everything that we're becoming and how it's evolving. And I see that as, where does my seed fit next in life? Where does it go next? And I don't know where necessarily that is, but everyone has a seed, and you got to find out where that seed's going to grow. And so for me, I'm not finished growing. I think when you're ripe, you're right. It's one of my favorite sayings, that when you're ripe, you're right. And that I continue to grow and continue to challenge myself.
How do you use the talents that you recognize you have in yourself as you're growing to benefit Franklin County? You were with the chamber, your position now, and I agree wholeheartedly with what you said, that it's not necessarily a role or a title.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
I have said many times publicly, on the record, 100%,
right.
that it is not the person who has the loudest voice, the most recognizable name, the money.
No.
It is so many
not.
times the person who's quietly just getting the job done.
That's right.
No doubt.
That's right.
But you do have a voice, and you do have a work ethic, and you are known to get things done. So how do you use those talents for the betterment of Franklin County?
So we just left. I was very fortunate and blessed the chamber to be a part of a lot of different committees. And I was very blessed and fortunate that when the executive role, when I left that role, to be able to still play a part in Franklin County. And so I'm on a couple of committees. So I'm on the Reentry, Franklin County Reentry Board, and on the Long Range Planning Board. And I enjoy both of those immensely. And, you know, we were challenged tonight with come back with a 5-year plan. And I'm thinking, wow, where do we want Franklin County to be in 5 years? Because if we'd have thought 5 years ago, would we be here? But in today, with what we're facing with COVID-19, you know, how is that going to impact us in 12 months from now? And then, you know, 12 days, 12 months, 12 years, but in 5 years from now, where do we see ourselves? And for me, Franklin County, those are just two little places. But I encourage everyone, and I've said time and time again, if you've never been to a county commissioner meeting or one of your city council meetings, go.
School board meetings.
School board meetings. Our elected officials that we elect work very hard. They do. And they have a tough job. And they, you know, leaders, every one of them, and their styles are all different. And when you go to the city meetings, I went to all of them. And so each town has its own culture and its own way, and there's families there. But they truly, every single time they get together, the betterment of that city, the betterment of the county is on their mind. And they want to hear from you. But more importantly, they want to see people sitting in the audience, that you care about what's happening. And so for me, it has inspired me to be someone that's going to sit in that audience. And how can I contribute? And what else can I do? You certainly have inspired me.
Well, thank you.
Your entire family has. I'm going to brag on Stephanie for just a moment. This is not.
Okay.
This is turning the
I know.
table.
Yeah, I'm not good at that.
This is turning the table a little bit. But you've lived in different places.
Yes.
And you and Cliff and his job and his career has taken you to different places. But while you are in a place. From our conversations that we've had, your goal is to plant seeds that grow long after you're gone.
Yes, get it started.
That's right.
Nourish it, be passionate about it,
Yes.
and hand it to someone who
Yes.
can run with it.
That's it. Because you know that your career path might take you somewhere
Yes.
else. But you're invested.
Yes.
And so that leadership comes from, and I won't ask you to say how many times you've been recruited or asked to come here, lead this, head this up, can you supervise, will you come work for me, can you this, can you that? Because you have that passion, and that's, man, the passion. If you can find someone with the passion, then that's 75% of the feat is done, because the 25% that's left, you can find out the who's, the wins, where's, and
You
what.
can teach it.
You can teach it,
Yeah.
but it's the passion that gets you there every single day. And with your husband, and I have met one of your daughters.
Yes, Audrey.
Audrey. And Audrey is cut from the same cloth, and I know that. And I know that makes you very proud.
It does.
I know.
It does.
I know it does.
Yep.
It's
Moms out there, we know. Yep.
We get it. We get it. But you see that, and you take inspiration from her as well.
Yes.
I took inspiration from my son.
Yes.
I had never graduated. I did not graduate from college. I didn't graduate high school.
Okay.
All right, so let's back up even farther than that. Let's just get to the root of it. My senior year of high school, I was in and out. I wasn't in a stable place. And February of my senior year, my counselor says, "Hey, you're missing a class.
Okay.
And you got to go to summer school." And I was not living in a situation where I thought, I need a job today.
Yep.
Like today.
Yep.
And so I made the very tough decision to pull out of high school and go get my GED and get a job, because that's what Michelle needed to do. And that's what I did. So I did that. And a couple years went by, and I started school, was going to college, and was doing great. And my husband at the time was laid off from his job, and so Michelle had to go to work, because that's what Michelle did, and because that's what you have to do.
It's life. These
life.
are things that happen.
When my son graduated from high school, immediately took him to Motlow and enrolled him in Motlow, and he was the first person in my family to graduate from college. And so it inspired me. Yeah. And he said, Mom, if I can do it, you can do it. And he said, you can do this. And so he watered my seed with his confidence in me to be able to do this. And so I graduated from Motlow the day that he graduated from Tribeca.
What an amazing story that is.
So I go to Nashville and I watch he and his fiance, which is now his wife, graduate from Tribeca, and I drove back and graduated from Motlow myself on the same day. But he watered my seed. It was there and I wanted to do it. Mm-hmm. But he leads me to be a better person. To watch him grow and watch him continue, because you get inspired by your children, right?
I think so.
You do, and you know that you're leading them, but sometimes they lead you. Yes. Sometimes they send you down a path that you didn't. They give you confidence to do things, and so he inspires me, and so it's a challenge all the time, but it's a constant growing. And how can you help, and how can you get involved? And I've said, and I've told different other committees and other things that when you get ready and you get back started again, let me know. And again, the COVID, I think, has kind of put a lot of things on the back burner.
It has, for sure.
And things like that. But get involved. Get involved.
I agree.
Get involved. And if you've never led anything, if you don't see yourself as a leader, then step out of your comfort zone just a little bit. Not too far, but just step out just a little bit. Because I've said time and time again, if you're a man or a woman and you can lead a household, you can lead.
Yes.
Amen. If you can
multitask, juggle it together, you can do it.
You can do it. You can do it. And the key is to surround yourself with people that have strengths you don't have.
Absolutely.
And know your weakness.
Yes, that's a great one. And work around that.
That's right.
And I think to play off what you just said, in a lot of different areas and aspects, people think they have to lead requires to be the leader.
That's right. No.
There are skill sets that I think people think, well, nobody wants that or needs that or that's not important. And I can tell you, in all of the not-for-profits I've been a part of,
we won't ask how many, but several probably, right?
Many.
Right.
If you have a skill, I can promise you there's a place for it.
That's exactly right.
I mean, there's a place.
There's a place.
And people can use you. So, I've been thinking while we've been talking that, for lack of a better word, I'm going to say a brand. Everybody has the skill, a brand, something about themselves. What do you think it is about you? What do you think it is about you, Michelle, that people look to you and say, I'm inspired by you, I want to be mentored by you, or will you guide me, or what do you think? I've called you many times. What do you think?
What do you think about
What do you think?
Right.
What do you think it is that people feel comfortable or respect your answer enough to come to you for that?
So this is where you either love Michelle or you hate Michelle. Because I think it really comes down to sometimes we all want to hear the truth. We all want to hear the truth, and I will say it. You might not like it. I don't say it to hurt your feelings, and I don't say it to degrade or diminish or anything else like that. So for this particular class this year, so. Short end of the straw, right?
For sure.
Short end of the straw, graduation, prom, annual sign, all of those memories that you'll pull back out for the rest of your lives, by the way. You pull it back out for the rest of your lives. So for that particular set and group of adults right now, young adults that are hitting the world, one, don't feel cheated. Don't feel cheated. Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. And you have to recognize that, and that, use that fire, that disappointment to go out and improve in the next phase, the next chapter of your life. That did not define you.
Hold you back.
Didn't hold me back. didn't keep me from, walking across that stage, did not deny me of anything. I still accomplished that. I still have that accomplishment under my belt. I'm going to do something with it now. That for sure. To recognize that as you step out into your college, your dorm, your job, the military, home, whatever the case may be, that there are opportunities to grow every single day. There are opportunities to make a difference every single day. Every day. Every day. Today is the only day that we have today.
That's right.
To get it done. That's it. And so as you are, we have a young man right now that's filming us. You can't see him. He's behind the camera.
People know about Chris. I talk about Chris.
Yeah, Chris is great. He's got a great shirt on today. But, for him to be where he is, and I don't know what he has that he's going to do, what he's going to aspire to do later on, but
he wants to be a film director.
He wants to be a film director. Right? He's got a great start, and he's got a great subject to follow around as well. But it is truly about, when you're my age, what do you want to look back on and say, I wish I hadn't held back at that time. Yeah. I wish I had just said what I wanted to say. And if you can't say it, then find a way to write it. If you can't write it and you can't say it, then find a way to find a buddy, to find a system, to find a way to get your voice heard. There is nothing, you hear about people being shy. Shy people, they're shy. They have thoughts, they have passion, they have a drive, they have needs, wants, desires, they have everything to make up any kind of decision that needs to be made at the table. But so many times they don't. And so if you are one of the people that people come to you and say, what do you think about that? Then you have a seed for leadership. You have a seed to inspire someone. Notice the ones in the room who are not saying anything, and talk to them, because they have a thought. And it's probably one of the most profound, well thought out, because they've not been chatting, they've been listening. And sometimes the one who listens the most knows the most, but they're not asked. Because they don't want to be, some people don't want to put them on the spot. And that's not what it's about at all. But sometimes they've heard the entire conversation. Yes. So it's not just who's the flashiest and the shiniest and who's the most whatever.
Recognized.
Doesn't matter. No, it is every single person at the table. It's every single person on your team. It's every single person in your group, your organization, your church, your class, whatever the case may be. Make sure you touch them all. Make sure you talk to all of them. And sometimes that's hard to do because that puts us outside our comfort zone. But you never know what kind of impact you'll have on someone years later just by simply bringing them into the circle. Because you could be watering a seed for them that they didn't know needed to be watered. But just giving them the opportunity to speak and give their opinion may give them the courage to say it the next time.
Being inclusive.
Make a difference.
Absolutely.
Make a difference.
Whew. That was good.
It was deep.
That was good. So my takeaway from this, so as I debrief already, is planting the seed, recognizing the seed, watering the seed.
That's right. Everybody's got one.
Everyone's got one.
Everyone's got one.
And if you listen more,
that's right, be
observant, pay attention to those around you,
that's right,
you're going to recognize that in someone else, or someone's going to recognize it in you.
That's right. That's
I
right.
love it.
That's right. And never think that you've used all your seeds either. Never think you've used them all. Never think that you can. I get inspired by, I was just sitting at a meeting today, and you know this dear person, Miss Angie Fuller.
Absolutely. Oh, love her.
Don't you love Angie Fuller? You know,
from day one. Yes.
From day one. Angie Fuller, you see people, Barbara Finney, you see some people I know that you interviewed earlier today, or some other people that you may be introducing later. they have choices.
Yep.
You know, they could make a decision that they're done.
They're going home.
They're going
Yep.
home. You go do that. But and it inspired me when I went through leadership, and it inspired me when I was at the chamber, that you see them and they have that passion and they have the seed, but they're still inspiring and they're watering seeds all around them all the time. Every time I'm around Miss Fuller, anytime I'm around Miss Finney, anytime I'm around anyone like that, they're doing the same thing.
Filling your cup.
They're filling my cup, but they're filling everyone else's. And it reminds me that that's our job. Until we have no breath left in us, our job is to water and to inspire and to create a better place than what we found. And no matter how good it is, it can get better. It can get better. You can make it better. Sometimes I've been told, sometimes you make it better when you leave.
Well, on that note.
Sometimes you make it better when you say goodbye. But that's okay. You know,
it takes all kinds.
It takes all kinds. But no, seriously, it is. You know, it's our job. It's our job in life to recognize people.
Well, you are doing your job phenomenally well.
Love it. Thank you. And you are too. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
And for whomever sent the email, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And this is why they sent the email and the messages, because they know, and many of you know, this is exactly what we were going to get when we spoke to Michelle. It's just inspiration, that fire, and words of wisdom. So thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
And we will see you about town.